Hello my viewers and welcome back to my channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to share your thoughts on what you think about this video. In a society where conversations about race often tiptoe around uncomfortable truths, it takes courage to talk about the complexities of why certain communities harbor animosity towards others. Now today we embark on a journey of understanding as we dissect a poignant dialogue between a palm color man and a commenter, unraveling the intricacies of racial dynamics in the United States. Now, this video peels back the layers of historical context, societal power structures, and the nuances of pride to shed light on why the notion that racial animosity works both ways fails to capture the full spectrum of reality. So join me as this palm color man confronts uncomfortable truths and strive towards a deeper understanding of the roots of racial tension in a society. Check out his video.
So this is for educational purposes only. The question says, why do black people hate white people so much? It goes both ways. Let's talk about it. Let me tell you why it doesn't work both ways. Never has there been a time in the United States in which black people had structural power and the ability to weaponize that power to discriminate and hate against white people. However, there was a period of time, a long period of time in the United States in which white people hated black people for nothing other than their race and had the power to do something about it. White pride is rooted in white supremacy and was birthed out of a place of exerting power and control over other demographics of people. Black pride, on the other hand, was rooted in surviving oppression. Black pride was the conscious, collective effort of a community to stop the erasure of culture and history. Any hatred, vitriol, and distrust by black people for white people is a natural byproduct of years of systemic oppression in the United States. The pathway forward to building that bridge and regaining that trust is for white people to not only acknowledge the egregious acts that the United States government committed against black Americans, not only acknowledge the wrongdoing of our ancestors. Most white people have done that part. They're starting to acknowledge history, but it stops there. They will say, that's a long time ago, this is now. The problem is today, white people are still feigning ignorance and they're not actively working to stand in solidarity and dismantle the tools of oppression that are still in place today. Most white people, particularly white people on the right, will tell you that systemic racism does not exist today. In spite of the mounting evidence and data, right now in our country, there is this yearning for this kumbaya, can't we all just get along? The problem with that line of thinking is that it's very superficial, it's surface level. In a perfect world, we just say, stop the hate, end racism, everybody get along, and voila, everything will be back to normal. The reason why that never works is because there is something much larger and nefarious at play that profits off of our division. Till we, and when I say we, I mean particularly white people, because black people have been screaming this for years, until we address the institutions and systems that are perpetuating this racism, we will never affect change. You know, there was a time when I used to hear black people say, screw them saltines, I'll say it mildly. But I used to get so mad until I understood the root cause of black pain and black anger in this country. It wasn't until I got educated, I deconstructed and re-educated myself, that my whole worldview and perspective changed. I will never say any form of hatred or bigotry is okay. But if I see hatred coming from a marginalized community, from a group of people that have historically been oppressed, I will try to understand and empathize where that hatred is coming from and do the work to do what I can to de-escalate and defuse that hatred and turn it into love. But that takes a whole lot of work in earning trust, and I don't know what length people who look like me are willing to go.
In my opinion, I feel the notion of hate between racial groups is often oversimplified or dismissed as irrational animosity. However, when we peel back the layers of history and analyze the power dynamics at play, we begin to see that what may be perceived as hate is often a natural byproduct of years of systemic oppression. In the context of the United States, where centuries of slavery, segregation, and institutionalized racism have shaped the social-political landscape, it's crucial to acknowledge that racial tensions are not born in a vacuum. They are deeply rooted in historical injustices and ongoing disparities. For marginalized communities, particularly Black Americans, the experience of oppression has been pervasive and enduring. From being subjected to dehumanizing slavery to enduring Jim Crow laws and enduring persistent racial discrimination today, the legacy of oppression casts a long shadow. In contrast, the concept of palm color pride is often intertwined with notions of supremacy and privilege, rooted in historical systems of domination and control. While individuals may not actively participate in these systems, they still benefit from them consciously or unconsciously. Therefore, when we speak of hate or distrust directed towards palm color individuals by marginalized communities, it's essential to recognize that it's not merely a matter of personal animosity. It's a response to a system that has historically disfranchised and marginalized Black people, perpetuating inequalities and injustices. Acknowledging this reality is the first step towards meaningful dialogue and reconciliation. It requires confronting uncomfortable truths, examining privilege and power dynamics, and working towards dismantling the structures that perpetuate inequality. The roots of racial tension in the United States can be traced back to the country's inception, with the establishment of slavery and the subsequent centuries of systemic discrimination against Black Americans. From the brutality of slavery to the violence of the Civil Rights era, the Black community has faced relentless oppression, leaving scars that continue to influence social dynamics today. It's essential to understand that oppression is not just a series of isolated incidents, but rather a systemic issue ingrained in the fabric of society. From housing discrimination and unequal access to education to disproportionate rates of unalivings and police brutality, Black Americans continue to face systemic barriers that hinder their advancement and perpetuate cycles of poverty and disenfranchisement. Racial dynamics intersect with other forms of oppression, such as classism, racism, and homophobia, creating complex waves of privilege and disadvantage. For example, Black women experience compounded discrimination due to their intersectional identity, facing both racial and gender-based oppression. Media also plays a significant role in shaping perceptions and reinforcing stereotypes. Historically, Black individuals have been depicted in demeaning and dehumanizing ways, perpetuating harmful stereotypes and contributing to negative attitudes towards the Black community. Beyond individual prejudice, institutionalized racism permeates every aspect of society. From employment practices and healthcare disparities to the criminal justice system, these structural inequalities reinforce the marginalization of Black Americans and contribute to the feelings of resentment and distrust towards dominant groups. Despite facing immense challenges, the Black community has demonstrated remarkable resilience and resilience. Movements for civil rights and social justice have challenged oppressive systems and fought for equality, inspiring hope and solidarity among marginalized communities. So, can we call this hate? Share your thoughts in the comment section and let's hear what you have to say about this video. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.